This is my dog Mongo, and he ran away from me the other day. Doug Patterson here. Thanks for joining me on my Wednesday walk. Uh, we've only had Mongo for 3 months now. He's a rescue dog. We got him from a shelter. We don't know anything really of his past history other than he came from a puppy mill where he probably served as a stud dog. And he's about 4 years old. That's our guess. That's the vet's guess. Anybody's best guess. We don't know. We don't know. But we do know that when he came to live with us, it was a massive, massive change in his life. He didn't know how to go up and down steps. He'd never been on a leash. He wasn't housebroken. He's come a long way with that, by the way. And he's a really good boy. We love him. But he ran away from me 2 days ago. Now, how did it happen? Well, we have another dog. She's a rescue dog as well. And as I was bringing her in, she was outside, and we have a run out there. And I was unhooking her from the run, and this little guy slipped between my legs and went out into the yard. I called him. He turned and looked at me, and then he just started going. He was free. He led me on a chase that lasted just about half an hour. The chase we went through neighbors' yards, decks. He ran out on the road a couple of times. Cars had to stop. It's a miracle that he wasn't hit. And we went through the park, and he was chasing leaves. He was experiencing a freedom that he'd never had in his entire life. It was, and I was terrified because I kept thinking, well, what am I going to do if I lose him? What if I can't get a hold of him? What if I can't get him back? Now he has ID tags. He has a microchip in his neck. So if somebody found him, they probably could have gotten back to us. But, who knows? I was absolutely terrified at this prospect. And I kept calling him, Mongo, Mongo, come here, Mongo, Mongo. He paid no attention to me whatsoever. And he kept going and going, and by this time, I was all out of breath. At one point, I thought, oh my gosh, am I having a heart attack here? What's going on? And finally, he was running down a road, and there were two cars that stopped at a stop sign, and two women got out of the cars to help. They could see what was going on. And the one woman got out, and she didn't do much, but the other woman got out. She was an older woman, and she called to him, and he came to her. He didn't come to me, but he came to her. And she got him by the collar. She picked him up. She was loving on him. I went up, finally got a hold of him, and I was talking to the lady, a very nice lady, thanked her profusely for her help. And I said, well, what did you say to him? And she said, do you want to go bye-byes in the car? And I don't know what it was about that, her tone of voice. I don't know what it was about her energy. But it couldn't have been about going in the car, because he really doesn't know anything about that. But there was something about her voice that called him. It wasn't my voice, the voice of a loving, warm, home life atmosphere. That didn't appeal to him. He was free, but there was this voice that he heard that he resonated with. Now, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I think, there are times in our lives when we get free for a little bit. Maybe we have some time off. Maybe we, I don't know, are on a vacation someplace. Maybe we find ourselves secluded somewhere. But we just feel this freedom. When you're in that place of freedom, what voice do you hear? What voice calls you? Oh, you hear other voices. You hear the voices of your employer, your spouse, your family, everything that's warm and comfortable to you. You hear all those things, but they're not so appealing. But what is the voice that calls you? If you're a musician, and I know that there are a lot of musicians, guitar players in specific, who watch me here on these videos, what is that voice? Is it the voice that says, you know, I want to call you into a different genre of music. I want to call you to a place where you play solos in a different way. What is that? Is it the voice of a new relationship? Maybe it's something that's calling you away from the familiar into unexplored territory. What is that voice? I don't know. Is it the voice of inspiration? Is it the voice of adventure? I don't know what it is, but you know it when you hear it and you want to respond to it. My suggestion to you today is respond to that voice, whatever it might be. And here's an intriguing thought. Maybe the voice you're hearing is the voice of God. And God is calling you and saying, I want you to live a different kind of life. I want you to do something different with your life. I want you to give up all the things that are destructive in your life, and I want you to be constructive. I want you to be compassionate. I want you to be loving. I want you to change. So, my friends, I'm glad to have Mongo back. I'm pretty sure he's glad to be back. But for that half an hour of freedom, he found a voice that he responded to. And maybe you will respond to that new voice today. Thank you so much for coming. And we'll talk to you again here on the old next Wednesday, can't speak, Wednesday walk. See ya.